Okay, pleasant good day to all my online viewers who are viewing this program on YouTube. I know today is where we have the program go on YouTube every Wednesdays, and I hope you all looking out for. I know you all look out for this program every Wednesdays on YouTube. So I have a packed program. So carry on with my guest where I have here with me. So when I bring my guest in, you will see is who I'm speaking to. But for now, this month is Road Safety Month, where we are looking at road safety and various other things, right? So before I get down to all of this, I'd like to say a pleasant good day to my operator with me, Alex King. A pleasant good day to you. I hope you having a wonderful day so far. Looking forward for a wonderful day ahead with you. Okay. And to my online viewers who are viewing this program, a pleasant good day to you. All those who are celebrating the birthday on this week here, a happy birthday, happy belated birthday, happy birthday in advance to you all. Okay? So we are dealing with persons with disability again. And to my where I was reading Facebook the other day, where I see the president have up something about giving persons with disability 35,000 bonus and 25,000 bonus to the big people. Okay? And I would like to say this. If you are giving us 35,000 bonus in December, not that I think come the new year of 2024, when the where you will be reading out about giving the all is when the budget read to raising the pension, raising the public assistance. I think in that new year, we as persons with disability should have that 35,000 given to us in the new year every month and so on. To the pensioners them, the old people them, the big ones, they should have about 50,000 a month, right? 50,000 a month, or say I say 50,000. Because if we are looking at where they are collecting 33,000 a month, now add 33 and 25,000. In total, it will be 58,000 they will be collecting next month. The 33,000 on the 25,000. And us, as persons with disability, if we will be collecting our 16,000 along with the 35,000, that should be about 51,000 for us a month, and let us round it off to the pensioners and where they should be getting 60,000. Don't worry the 58, the 60,000 to the pensioners, right? That is my saying for now, but when I talk with my guest, we will have that query or fix. Okay? So I don't want to take up so much of my time. Let me get down in what I have to do or and so on. Clark's block making shop where you can get 4-inch and 6-inch blocks. You can they have traveling parent, they have spindles too, where you can buy for put up on your fence and your steps and so on. You can contact them on 218-0442, 218-0442, 622-6814, 622-6814 for more information. Okay. Scriptural Labor College where they have classes from in the morning from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then evening classes from 5:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. So either you can have the morning classes or the evening classes when you knock off from work. It's so young ones, middle-aged persons. If you didn't went through in doing CXC, you can do CXC there, and they have classes from Form 1 to Form 5. Okay. Freedom Life Ministry, where they have Sunday service on Sundays from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Okay? And then they have Tuesday service on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. And the Tuesday service is on concerned with deliverance, where you can get delivered on Tuesdays. And they are located in Princess and Link Street. It's a big 3-story orange building. You can't miss it. So I will advise you to get there and have the experience about that church or that. And before I get down in thinking, don't let no one tell you about don't go into that church, this, that church, that. You as the person out there have to go to that church, see it for yourself, and see if you like it there or not. That is my saying, but I do go to that church and I am comfortable there. If I'm comfortable there, you as a person who are doing this program should go and see for yourself. Okay? So I will now bring my guest on with me. Pleasant good day to you, sir.
Same to you, sir.
And I know you are waiting patiently here to be here to raise these issues on road safety month. So before we get down on concerning with this road safety thing, are you agree with what I was saying concerning the public assistance and to the pensioners?
You see, if one is to disagree with what you said, I mean they're very inhuman. Obviously, in a society where the cost of living is so high and seem to be changing from day to day, obviously one needs to have the kind of financial support or security that guarantees that if there is such fluctuation, it will not affect them. And if that were to be so, 16,000 a month disability, I don't understand what I mean at all. That's a black plastic bag of a few things. Now, disability persons with disability must be respected. Must know that what is given to them is because there is a need. I heard you mention that they should be you're getting 35,000 next month Christmas bonus, and you're advocating that from next year that you think it should leave at 35. I think that it should be at 50. I mean, I might be sounding ridiculous, but I'm talking reality here. And as for pensioners, that's another story. Because I've noticed on these days when these persons go for pension. The long lines, the crowds. Among those persons, people fainting away because of the long waiting. And you can see in their eyes that they need that money. It isn't just something that they expect to collect. They need it. Which means that one ought to create a scenario where when they would have received that, they can at least use their monies and don't be in such a hurry or desperation looking forward to the next date when they ought to receive it. They can, relax a bit because they have something more.
I agree with you 100%. And as I say, if we add the 25 to the 33,000, that is not about 58,000.
Yes.
And if we round it off, you think this will be having 60,000 a month?
Sorry.
Yes.
No, I think about 75,000, not 60. 75,000 would be more reasonable.
And so the public decisions, if we add this 35 to the 16,000, where it being 51,000, what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, you can carry it to 60.
We say 62.
Yes, and
The
negotiate,
pensioner them 75.
and 60.
Right. We agree because Guyana is a all growing.
Now, this is one of the richest countries in the world, fastest growing economy in the world. Well, we want to see and feel that growth. We don't just want to hear about it, because let me tell you this. From the time you start announcing to the world that you're an oil producing country with such a small population and such a great output in the oil industry, you're telling the world that the people in Guyana needs nothing. They're well taken care of. They're a small population and they have a lot of money. But what we have already seen is that by these announcements, a lot of these donor agencies like Food for the Poor and other things, their contributions to persons in need or poor persons will obviously be taken away and sent to a country that could be considered extremely poor, like Haiti and a couple of other countries. Why should donors make donations to a country that is being mooted as being one of the richest countries in the world with a population with under 1 million, which means that everybody should be living on cloud nine? It is not so. It is not so. We've heard this, but we haven't seen the trickle down to the masses. We haven't seen the trickle down. And even those who might be gaining, we're only told what they're going to. There's no tangible evidence or facts that probably they don't need to tell us anything. We just have to go along with what is said. Well, it is making it very dangerous for us, because if you walk the road as a person or persons, the kind of robberies and things that's going on, you're being attacked by desperate persons. And if people are not desperate, they may think differently, but even your life on the road has become dangerous because cost of living is extremely high. It has reached dangerous proportions where even the grains and the food you eat seem to be something like you may not be able to have 3 square meals, probably 1, or a proper meal. So this thing about you have to give people money, you have to have the different label, you have to take care of your old persons, because we all get there sometime.
That is true. I agree with you 100% in what you are saying there. So as I say, we are looking at the road safety month. So concerning with these touts on these different bus parks now, right? Where I see it in my own eyes and had the experience with it, where these touts are going to these buses, asking these passengers in the bus for $100 or $200, and when you give them it, you still going and buy cigarettes to smoke, or you're gonna do something else, and so on. And if you, as the passenger, refuse to give it to them, they're calling you all kind of names. They're doing all kind of things or telling you all kind of things. What do you look at this now?
Now, in my capacity, I was president of the United Minibus Union. There have been a lot of complaints that would have been channeled to us, channeled to the police, channeled to the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Consumer Affairs Department, that is headed by Ms. Tinnis and her staff. Very efficient people, very good people, hardworking. But what we have found is that to alleviate that situation, we collaborated and brought out a code of conduct for minibus operators and commuters, mostly minibus operators, who ought to have conductors in their bus, has 15 seats. Now, we decided, and it came to us, and they were training programs that were set by the ministry, finance and everything by the ministry, where we try to train persons, these operators of bus and their conductors. It was kept at the Zara Center, police center there. And we trained almost 300 persons, but then in hospitality, they were trained in first aid, and most of the things that would govern the conduct of the sector. But the COVID came and it had to stop at that time. But at that time also, what we advocated was that the union get its members or persons attached to the industry to get those persons that they call touts organized. And to organize them, they were part of the training and they got uniforms, because you'd find like Route South would have white and green. There are a lot of these persons who were uniformed who might have behaved a certain way, and you would be surprised to know that among these persons, they were very bright persons with families, but because the culture of greed and lawlessness was there, they had no choice but to go along with what goes on out there. But it started, and it is still going on. But what we have found is that sometimes these persons become so comfortable that some of them revert to their bad ways, of being disrespectful, not properly dressed. And we would have had, last month, we would have had a one-day seminar and conference with the police and all the different areas, police and bus parks and so on, managers of the bus parks. And we made it clear that if it is, there are supposed to be uniformed persons there. And I can vouch for some of them, they do their work well. But then now you have another army of others coming there and just carrying out the same things. And we say to the police, we would like you, when you visit the parks, if there are persons who are not uniform, arrest them. If there are some of our members or those uniformed persons think that they feel so comfortable that they can go back to their bad ways, arrest them. And they wouldn't be able to come to us, they'll have to face the consequences. So it's a matter of not just enforcement, it's also a matter of educating people, Even the public needs to be educated. That's why we would like, if someone in the ministry, especially tourism, can have like a monthly or quarterly program reminding persons of their responsibility and how they should behave. Because I'll be honest with you, the union is not an owner of buses or anything. They try to bring people together and of their own will. But then we work along, we expect when we do certain things and we collaborate, the police must be able to enforce without fear or favor. They're good police, but there are a lot of others, that needs to be sanctioned, and some people report to the station. But what the police is saying to us is that when they arrest these perpetrators, the person that report do not turn up to court. So they don't get to be effective. How true that is what was said to me.
Well, you make a PowerPoint there in what you are saying, right? January to October, I have to say, you don't see the police out there on the road doing the duty. Now, coming down to Christmas time, now you're seeing them out there plenty. What is all of this about? Why you waiting when coming down to Christmas time, you're out there plenty? Between January and October, you are not out there doing your duty.
I don't want to feel that you're insinuating anything here. But the police force, and I'm not making excuses to them, they're
No.
grossly understaffed. But what I have found is that I'll answer the thing about the Christmas thing. What I have found is that there are some very young, enthusiastic policemen that come out there, out to training school, ready to do their jobs. They've complained to me that when they effectively do their jobs and they arrest somebody and carry them in there, about an hour after the person is back on the road and making laugh over them, and these kind of things. And they don't know what goes on, but it makes them very ineffective, and these people are inclined to always make statements about they cannot get locked up, who they know, and all these kind of things. So otherwise, too, it is felt that the police are not doing their job. There's some that attempt to do their job, but for some reason or the other, they cannot get to do it the way they want to. But which means that, as I said before, they're good policemen, they're not so good policemen, and they're rogue policemen out there. But that is a matter for the police. They will have to look into that, correct it, and find and pull in those rogue persons. Now, coming back to your question that you don't see them around a lot. What you have to, or it is perceived that December is really the season when a lot of people go around shopping for homes and shopping to decorate the place and many other things, there are parties, people, the roads seem to be busier and there always seem to be more money on the road. On the traffic, I don't know if there could be such a difference in traffic at December because the road is already congested with vehicles.
From January to December.
Right, yes, right too. But as you said, you don't see them so much. So you're asking the question, why in December? I really can't answer that, but I can think to myself why that may be so, but it would be very ridiculous and malicious of me to come up with, to insinuate something that may well be true or not true. But you have to be glad that they're out to December. But I agree with you, they ought to be working all the time. But another thing too is that somewhere along the line after 4 or 5 in the afternoon, policemen disappear. Or in small, just see the vehicles driving around. And it's at those times, they overload buses, they overcharge persons traveling with the buses. And I know for a fact in buses, all buses should have fare structure that is signed by the union and the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce. And I think there's one of the things where the police has to check to ensure that those buses have the right price, the price list, the fare structure. But that is what you've said to me is something that persons would have said time and again. Where are all these police before? But they appear in the month of December. You gotta remember, December is a month of parties, gifts, and so on. So
Yeah,
I don't
all
know.
of this is true. Yeah, all of this is true. And this is where I'm looking at where the buses we supposed to have three in a seat, but we're not having three in a seat. We're having four in a seat. Sometimes I don't have three in a seat, and you're looking to put one more in the back seat, one more in the seat before the back, one more in the other in the seat behind the conductor seat, and these things. And these passengers too are not standing up for the rights and saying, oh, you can put another one in the seat here and we don't have three in a seat and those things. These passengers are just keeping them out. So, are we, can we stand up our rights or not? Because now, when the passenger talk, is either the driver or the conductor will tell you, if you don't like it, get out of my FM bus. That's the English words they would use. What do you have to say to that?
There are persons who stand up, but yeah, as I said before, and you said, they come up against some resistance. They try. But in that same bus, you'll have passengers who might say to that person who don't want the phone seat, you have to catch a car if you don't want travel. There's one. Two is that some people work so hard during the day, they're so desperate to go home that they allow people to do them anything. But as I said before, there's where the police come in. There is laden weight in those buses that has to be maintained and seating capacity. So it's a difficult thing because what I have found as a person, most person would have noticed it, this society is grossly indisciplined. Guyanese people either always desperate to get home or always late for work. So because they are always late, there's a hot plating come in. They run into the first bus that leave, even though they're not in the park. So it has to do with a culture of greed and indiscipline.
That's true.
You know,
That's true. And
Safety Council and the union work in collaboration with these two enforcement agencies. So we can get those complaints, we can forward it to the police, but remember, we cannot enforce, but we are on the ball.
right, so you can, as I say, you can contact your Andrews where you give his number out and the other department where you say you can
Tourism, Ministry of Tourism,
Ministry of Tourism,
Consumer Affairs Department.
Affairs Department, where you can make that complaint. And as I say, if you don't get to them or you don't get to your Andrews or those, you can get to me on 677 641 and make the complaint, and I would get to your Andrews and have the complaint sent to him or give to him. So, and before I go, class block making shop where you can get 4-inch and 6-inch blocks. They have spindles, they have scaffolding for rent. You can call them on 218-0442, 218-0442, 622-6814, 622-6814 for more information. Critchlow Labour College, where they have evening classes from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then they have morning classes from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So any one of those classes you can go to. As I said, they have from Form 1 to Form 5. You don't have to be young to be a student there. You can be middle aged and have the classes. Okay? Freedom Life Ministry, where they have Sunday service on Sundays from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Sundays, and then they have Tuesday service on Tuesday from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. Okay? And as I say again, don't let no one make you a fool. Don't let no one tell you don't go to that church or don't think you have at that portion of yourself. You have to go to the church yourself, have the experience, and see if you like it there. So, on behalf of my guests, Peter Andrews and Alex King, Tan is saying bye for now. And as I say, you can subscribe, like, share, and make your comments. So, bye for now.